All right, so Auburn adds Memphis defensive lineman Morris Joseph via the transfer portal. And so I don't really understand the entirety of this move. I talked about this when I went live shortly after it happened, but I think this is a great addition for Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why Morris Joseph picked the Tigers. I don't think he's going to start. It appears he has 1 year of eligibility left. And I think it's going to be a great depth piece. I think he offers a little bit of versatility positionally, which is great. It seems like Brian Harsin and Jeff Schmedding really like that, which I don't know why you wouldn't. So I think it's great for Auburn. I think Auburn gets better defensively with the addition of him, but it's just, he's going to be a role player in his last year of college football.
And, role players at a big school in the SEC you can get noticed, you can get attention. If his dream is to go to the NFL, right, and get attention. The one thing that was interesting about him is that he was committed to Georgia Tech, and then all of a sudden it was like, nope, actually I'm going to Auburn. You are in a better spot at a place like Auburn than you are at a place like Georgia Tech if it's about getting attention. Like, not the same kind of move. I compare this a lot to kind of like the Tony Fair move last year, where it's like, yeah, you're not going to play a billion snaps here. And Tony Fair had a role, and he played a specific role for Auburn last season. He was probably I think he was like fourth or fifth in turn, maybe a little bit lower than that, and guys who had snaps on the defensive line last season and snap count. So I think you're getting another one of those guys. Super experienced. He's already played 4 years of college football. At the group of five level, he was a solid contributor. Not a superstar, not a guy that was just all AAC every year, but a guy that's going to play a role. I think is going to try to get more attention and get more eyeballs on him, which this is what the portal's for these guys. A long way, a long road for him. Started in junior college and was a really good junior college recruit. So, yeah, this is just Auburn lost a lot of defensive linemen in the transfer portal. You brought Marquise Robinson back, which was huge, but You still lost a good bit. And you didn't bring in a ton of guys as freshmen. So you go get Jason Jones, and now you go get you go get Morris Joseph here, who I think is going to be somebody that you can trust to throw out there because he's done it before at the college level. And you just need more depth up front. You don't want to get into a situation where you don't have a deep rotation at the one of the most important spots on the field.
So how much do you buy into Pro Football Focus numbers? Because he scored pretty well, especially in 2020. His season in 2020 was awesome. Last year was like a little over 70, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, you take that. What are your thoughts on that?
Personally, I don't look into their grades a ton because they're subjective and
totally
everybody has a different bit. Now, their counting stats, which they do a great job of with snap counts, run stops, all the objective actual metrics, the actual numbers. Love looking into them, use them a ton. I tend to stay away from the grades just because it's like that process. It's like how they grade and who's grading it. It can vary totally. Wildly. But no, he did have good numbers in 2020. He had some pretty solid numbers last season. Started a lot for him. He's just a guy who I think is just a defensive lineman that you need, that you can move around, that you can plug in, that it's experienced. And it's just you don't want to get into a situation where you're breaking in people completely new on the defensive front, or you feel a little iffy if somebody goes down. This is a guy who, and the other thing there is he's played on winning teams. Like Memphis is a really good group of five school. And so, I think it's a lot like what they got last year in Tony Fair. I think Tony Fair had a specific role that fit him because of his size and the fact that Auburn was playing some more 3 down front stuff. But Tony Fair didn't play a billion snaps last season and yet still had an impact on this team. I definitely think Morris Joseph can do the same thing.